Day 39, verses 54-55, Signs of Steady Wisdom. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Until now, Krishna has described clarity, inner balance, and the path that leads a person towards steady wisdom. In verse 54, Arjuna asks a question that feels deeply human. He wants to understand what such a person is actually like. Krishna starts his answer with a simple definition. Arjuna said, O Keshav, what is the disposition of whose consciousness is thus merged in divine consciousness? How does an enlightened person talk? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? Until now, Krishna has spoken about principles and theories, action without attachment, freedom from desire, steadiness of mind, and clarity of understanding. Arjuna, with all humility, now asks what all of this looks like in real life. He wants to see wisdom in human form. What does inner stability look like when life becomes difficult? How does a wise person respond to praise or criticism, joy or disappointment? What sets them apart? This is not just Arjuna's question. It belongs to all of us. We often admire people who carry a quiet strength, who remain composed in difficult situations, and who seem rooted in a place that circumstances cannot easily shake. We wonder what allows them to live that way. Arjuna is asking Krishna to describe that person, and in doing so, he opens the door to one of the deepest sections of the Gita. Another lesson to take away from this verse is no question is too small to ask. It's better to accept our ignorance than pretend knowledge that we do not have. The Supreme Lord said, O Parth, when one discards all desires and cravings of the senses that torment the mind, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the realization of the self, then he is said to be in pure, transcendental consciousness. Krishna begins at the root of all human conditions, desire. The human mind is always seeking something, be it material success, achievement, recognition, comfort, control, affection, security, etc. When we fulfill one desire, another appears. After that one, something else, and the cycle of desire continues. This makes the mind chaotic, restless, and dependent on what lies outside itself. A person of stable wisdom breaks free from the cycle. Their peace does not depend on life arranging itself as per their wishes. Their happiness is not built on things that are external, possession, status, or approval. They are not looking outward. They have discovered a sense of fulfillment that comes from within. This inner contentment becomes their anchor in the journey of their lives. This does not mean they stop participating in life. They still love, work, build, and contribute. But they act from purpose, not from craving for outcome. That is the first sign of wisdom. A person who is inwardly content is no longer easily disturbed by what the world gives or takes away. Many of us unknowingly place our peace in the hands of unseen future events. We live with a feeling that something is missing in our lives. We say to ourselves, I will feel better when this problem is solved, when my career reaches a certain point, when my relationships improve, when life finally becomes easier. Peace becomes a goal we keep postponing, not the journey we are undertaking. And so, Even while living today, the mind remains occupied with tomorrow. This endless postponement becomes exhausting. Even beautiful moments lose their wonder because the mind is already reaching for what comes next. The Gita invites us to look in another direction. What if peace is not something waiting for us in the future? What if it is something we learn to uncover within ourselves even as life continues with all its uncertainty? These perspectives can begin to change how we live. Thought of the day. Pause and notice how often you tie your happiness to a condition. Then ask yourself, what have I been telling myself I need before I can feel truly content? Is peace waiting somewhere ahead, or can it begin where I am today? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May you discover the quiet strength of being at peace within yourself as life continues to unfold around you.